Hello, we are Samuel Mariña and Gunther Baumgartner.
Today, we will be presenting the most important issues related to the first two units of Introducción al Turismo. The best way to start is to define what tourism means. It refers to the activities of persons traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year for leisure, business, or personal purposes. That is the definition written by the UNWTO. The UNWTO, United Nations World Tourism Organization, is the agency responsible for the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. They also have a glossary with specific words related to tourism. Within this glossary, we can find plenty of terms. Here are some important ones. Types of visitor. While traveling, you could be either a tourist or excursionist. Within these forms of tourism, we can also find the reasons why the person is traveling, such as ecotourism, business, cultural, and health tourism. All these terms have been changing throughout the years. It is obvious that the way people used to move from one place to another is not the same as hundreds of years ago. That being mentioned, we can classify tourism in 4 stages. The first one is called Early Ages, which takes place before the 5th century. During this era, humans were nomadic, and the reason of their trips were because of the weather, shortages of food and water, and to avoid danger. However, as human skills were improving, people became more sedentary, but their desire to travel kept growing, now because merely curiosity or because of wars for territory. The second stage is called Middle Ages, which takes place between the 5th and the 14th century. With the growth of religion among Europe, the reasons to travel kept unchanged. But now people tend to visit places carrying coins to exchange them and visit monuments for relaxation purposes. This woke the minds of Roman emperors, which understood the importance of roads between cities, which was also seen as clue to maintain in power. The third stage is known as development, between the 14th and the 20th century. Many important events occurred during this stage, such as the discovery of America, the creation of mass tourism, steam navigation, and many others. With the creation of new methods of transportation, such as modern airplanes, now the possibility to visit a destination far from home was easier. However, another event that happened was World War II, which stopped world tourism for a while. But somehow it helped the tourism industry since it worked as a way to improve technology on planes. The last stage is global to sustainable tourism, which takes place on the 21st century. It is the tourism we know nowadays. Now people visit foreign places for different reasons, in which we can find traveling in order to fight against a certain topic, such as poverty, to bring awareness, to participate in social activities, and many others. Also, the accommodations suffered a big change. With the help of technology, now tourists can travel easier within a city with the help of, for example, Uber, and stay in places for cheap thanks to apps like Airbnb.
Now, as we could see, the tourism travel industry has evolved a lot. So, to understand better what tourism is nowadays, we can divide it into 3 main aspects: the core components of tourism, the distribution channels, and tourists. The tourism industry is a very complex area. It has a lot of aspects that make it up. But to simplify this, we can classify its main components in attractions, transportation and infrastructure, accommodation and basic services, tourist development and promotion, and finally, the ancillary services. Attractions are the main traveling motivators on personal tourism. These are the reasons why people make their trips. There can be cultural attractions such as museums, villages, galleries, festivals, and events. But they can also be natural attractions like beaches, mountains, rivers, forests, and landscapes in general. Transportation and infrastructure. It is a crucial component in the tourism industry. There is a variety of mechanisms of transport that tourists use every day, such as airplanes, buses, trains, and ships. And all of these depend upon the improvements and maintenance of roads, harbors, and airport terminals. While the infrastructure of a country provides the basic framework for the effective functioning of developing systems such as urban areas, industry, and of course, tourism. Accommodation and basic services. This is a very important component. It benefits a lot of countries' economies. In general, 20 to 30% of tourist expenses are consumed in this area. Also, there is a wide offer and demand for accommodations, from giant hotel chains to basic but still comfortable inns. It's common that accommodations offer food and beverage too, and some basic services. Tourism development and promotion. This component is the main reason tourism keeps growing. It is coordinated by public sector bodies or organizations such as tourist boards and local councils. Promotional leaflets, brochures, and websites are commonly used to promote tourism, as well as tourist information centers. Ancillary services. These are some services which play a supporting role to make the tourist trips more comfortable and safe. Some of them are travel insurance, medical services, police services, foreign exchange services, financial services, and translation services. These core components are distributed to the tourism population, so there are more components that complete the system. These are the distribution channels and the tourists. The distribution channels are the tour operators and travel agents, who are the ones who bring the world of tourism to people. And tourists can be classified into three types, according to the destination, and two modalities of tourism according to the traveling motivators. The three types of tourism are the outbound, inbound, and domestic. Outbound tourism is about emissive residents that go to another country. Inbound tourism is when a country receives non-resident tourists. And domestic tourism is when people travel in their resident country. And according to the reason to travel, there are two modalities, business and personal. The business modality includes the activities of self-employed and employees, as long as they do not receive income from a resident producer in the country or place visited. While the personal includes all purposes of tourism trips that are not classified as business and professional. As tourism is one of the biggest industries in the world, there have been national and international organizations that help deliver a better experience or service to the tourists by regulating, promoting, or coordinating the tourism activity. Also, these organizations can obtain many joint benefits and gain more power and credibility through their collective actions. One of these is the United Nations World Tourism Organization, that has been promoting and studying international tourism since the 1970s. Other important organizations are the World Travel and Tourism Council, the International Air Transport Association, the International Hotel and Restaurant Association, and the MINTUR in Venezuela as well. Thanks to this activity, we have learned a lot about the history of tourism and how it has evolved over time, reaching modern tourism, as well as we could get an idea of everything that involves this great industry that keeps growing.